So biotechnology has the potential for improving human health and for criminal justice. We've talked a bit about eyewitnesses, and now with DNA fingerprinting, rather than just relying on, well, I think that person is the person that committed the crime, we can actually go collect DNA evidence. Biotechnology has the potential for improving human health, and I think I'm a great example of that, because as a diabetic, I definitely would not still be alive without biotechnology making the insulin that keeps me alive every day. So, yep, and people that have cancer and a lot of the different diseases that are out there, we are now being able to, one, prevent diseases, but we're also seeing new diseases that are popping up. So that's definitely something to think about. We can cure certain diseases that have been around for years and years and years, ever since there have been humans, but there are new ones that are popping up. We have also been able to treat diseases that before would have been a death sentence. If I would have been born 100 years ago, I would have been toast at 8 years old when I got diabetes. And so now I'm capable. I've been around for 30 more years since I got diabetes, and they've been able to treat that, and I've been able to be relatively healthy. So they actually talk in the book about diabetes, which I think is really interesting. I actually went looking for some videos today about creating human insulin. Used to be back when I got diabetes in 1985 that everybody that had diabetes took insulin that came from pig pancreases. So they would go into the slaughterhouses where they made bacon and pork products, and they would take the pancreases from these pigs that were being slaughtered, and they'd put them into a blender and blend them all up, and then get the impurities out, much like you guys have been looking at in the lab this week, where you're putting strawberries and chicken liver in the blender. They would put these pancreas into a blender, and they would extract all of the insulin out, and they would purify it as much as possible, and then they would take the insulin, put it in a vial, ship it off to me, and I would take a shot of that insulin every day, and it allowed me to stay alive. Now, part of the problem with that, as you can imagine, if you've ever known anybody who's had an organ transplant and has taken transplant drugs, when I'm taking the insulin from a pig is obviously not me. It's pretty close, pretty similar as a species, pretty similar in DNA, but it's not human and it's not me. And so my body used the insulin, but a lot of people, they found that they were allergic to pig insulin. If you're diabetic and you're allergic to pig insulin, and that's the only option that you've got, you either take it or you're not going to be able to survive. So one of the big advantages in the technologies that have come about is that we've been able to produce what's called human insulin. And the way that they've done that is, let's see if I have a, oh, I don't have a picture of it. So they've taken bacteria and they've introduced the human insulin gene into it. So these E. coli bacteria, E. coli are found in your body naturally, so they're already found inside of humans, and they were able to make these E. coli bacteria that produced human insulin. So they would have these giant vats of E. coli that they would then take, and they would pulverize them and take the insulin out of them and purify it and then give it to me. And so rather than having pig insulin, which is not even the same species, now they're making human insulin, and it's the same species. But one of the obvious problems with that is that even though it's making human insulin, it's not making the exact same insulin that my body is making. So one of the technologies that I believe will come about here in the recent future, or the very soon, is that they will find some way to make personalized medicine. I think they'll take my genes and they'll make insulin in bacteria that is identical to the insulin that I make in my body. So that way, no type of reaction, no type of rejection. It will be exactly the insulin that my body would make if I had a pancreas that was making insulin. So they may do that with stem cells. It may be through gene therapy. There's lots of really interesting advantages out there to personalizing medicine. So what if you had the exact medicine made with your exact DNA to cure you or treat the diseases that you had? I think that that's really a fascinating technology and something that's coming up here in the future.